Shooby dooby, dooby doo. You know, today's 2 days away from Friday the 13th. It's a scary time for a lot of people. Brings out a lot of fear. Didn't I just talk about this a month ago? Is a sense of deja vu here? That's because this is our second Friday the 13th this year. And there's one more in November. Typically, it's just one day a year that people have to have that fear. But today, I don't want to just talk about Friday the 13th, because that's a simple fear. I mean, it only happens a couple times a year, usually. What I want to talk about today are fears that affect our success. Fears that cause us not to do the things that we want to do. Like I said, as most of you now know, especially if you didn't before, I started a podcast a couple weeks ago called Goal Getting Podcast. And one of the biggest deterrents for people in goal setting and goal achievement are fears. How many of you have heard of the fear of failure? A lot of people have heard of it, and some of us may actually have been susceptible to that. The fear of failure can be so bad that people will not even attempt to do something that they should do. And their subconscious mind often will do things to undermine even trying to do it. Another fear that a lot of people have is the imposter syndrome. How many of you have heard of the imposter syndrome? It's that tiny nagging voice in the back of your head when you attempt to do or achieve something. It tells you, you're not good enough for that. You don't know what you're talking about. Who's going to listen to you? But it's a negative voice that you don't have to listen to. Napoleon Hill, famous author of Think and Grow Rich, also wrote another book called Outwitting the Devil that he wrote in 1938, and it just got published in 2011. He kept it hidden for most of his life. In that book, he talked to the devil and asked the devil some questions. Asked the devil, what are some of the tools that you use to keep people from being successful? And the devil said, I use fears. The fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of loss of loved one, the fear of ill health, and the fear of death. But my most important and probably the most devastating fear that I use is the fear of poverty. The fear of poverty has killed many a dream. The fear of poverty has gotten to a lot of people through their subconscious mind by loved ones and family members who may have experienced some problems at some point in time in their life. My grandparents raised me, and they were people who grew up in the Great Depression. And we recently had a Great Depression, the Second Depression from 2007 to 2014, and that is also going to start affecting people with the fear of poverty because of that particular environment. The fear of poverty robs us all of rational thought and reason. It kills self-reliance. It paralyzes creativity. It destroys imagination. It just continues to rob us of initiative. It leads to uncertainty and procrastination. And it invites other things, such as unhappiness, into our lives because of our fear of poverty. You want to achieve a goal. You want to do something. But all of a sudden you feel, I might not be able to provide for myself. Or more importantly, I might not be able to provide for my family. So we don't attempt to pursue those goals and dreams. Most people, including me, have suffered from that particular fear at some point in time or another. But fears are a state of mind. It's not something we can go out and buy. It's not something that, we can get very easily unless we assume that fear, unless we create that fear in our own mind. State of mind and fears cause limiting beliefs within our subconscious mind. And it's up to us to be able to control that. And it can be controlled. We can control and conquer those limiting beliefs. We can control and conquer that state of mind. Shoo Bee, I've told you before, I think, about my story of my fear of bees, how I abandoned a car one time when there was a bee flying around. I was terrified of bees as an adult, frightened to death of a bee, until one day I heard my martial arts teacher talking, and he said, "Did you know the strongest creature in the world is a bee?" Said it can move a human male 200 pounds or more without ever touching it, and threw me out of a car. Bees are powerful. But I realized at that particular point in time that, why am I afraid of a bee? I'm not allergic to venom. I've been stung by 100 bees or more on multiple occasions. I'm still alive. Why am I afraid of a single bee? I developed a philosophy. Whenever a bee comes towards me, I point at the bee and I say, "Shoo Bee." And it does. It goes away. Fears are like bees. They're little small things that really just bother us. How can we get rid of these fears? How can we eliminate these limiting beliefs that we have? What can we do that can do that? The first thing we can do is say, "Shoo Bee, beliefs, go away. Shoo fears, go away. We don't need you. You're not going to affect me." Do be definite in your purpose in life. Know what you want in life. Know what it's going to take to get there. And you will have a leg up on fear. You will be able to accomplish what you want to do. Create an action plan. Once you know what you want to do and how to get there, create an action plan so that you know what you can do. Clearly defined written goals and a developed action plan will help you eliminate those fears. Do be demanding, not of people, but of life. If you want something, it's yours for the taking. You can go out there and get it. Demand it from life that I want, and I am going to get this thing that I want. And don't accept anything less. Don't accept any substitutes. How many of you have heard of The Secret or the movie The Secret? Many of you? Okay. It wasn't a secret. It's been out there forever. It's called the law of attraction. Our mind has the ability to attract things to us. There's good and there's bad. There's a website that I like and that I subscribe to called tut.com, T-U-T.com. And their philosophy, and a very good one, is thoughts become things. Your mind has the ability to attract different things that you think about. So you want to make sure that your mind is thinking of the good things, not the bad things. There's a saying us Southerners use: be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. So make sure you ask for and think of the good things. Do what it takes. When you have a goal, when you have a dream, when you want something, execute it. Don't just work on it sporadically for 10 years. Don't just think about it. Don't just plan. Don't get into an analysis paralysis. When you think of something that you want to do that is a goal that you have, execute it. Successful people are not people who think and do nothing but think. They do. Ernest Hemingway has a great quote: "Don't mistake motion for action." A lot of people, you see a lot of frenetic energy, but they're really not doing anything. There is no action, they're just doing. So you want to summarize this in Shoo Bee, beliefs that are negative and fears that cause them. Do be definite in your purpose in life. Do be demanding in your wants from life. Do it now. Action, not motion. All right, now what I want you to do is sing with me. Shoo Bee, doo-bee, doo-bee, doo. I am not afraid of you. Come on. Shoo Bee, doo-bee, doo-bee, doo. I am not afraid of you. So the next time you have fear, don't. Make today a great day.
A few minutes, we have a special session for Tony now. We have a surprise for him because he's completing his CC and he's the first one in our club who completes within our club. Close your eyes.
Close your eyes, Tony.
Can we pour some wine before?
I'm on it. I'm on it.
She eating a beer bong?
All right. That sounds good.
All the awards go. The awards go to Tony,
Can you open this
the
up?
great communicator. And something more special.
No. Someone take a picture. Okay.
Our officers and members signed a card for you with all the good words.
Thank you.
Thank you for